After 2 long months, the Depp v. Heard defamation trial has reached its end, and in its aftermath, there's been a lot of clamor not just in Hollywood. A lot of people have a lot to say about Johnny winning the case in the US. While we don't know what that means, we can tell you what celebrities are saying about it. First up, we have Amy Schumer. The famous stand-up comedian, who seems to have an opinion on almost everything, definitely had much to say about this trial and the way it favored Johnny. Well, she wasn't outright supportive of either Johnny or Amber, but right after the verdict was announced, Amy posted a quote on her Instagram. Now, the thing is, we wouldn't be looking into too much, but the content of this quote just doesn't make it seem like a coincidence. The quote's by American feminist Gloria Steinem, and it reads, "Any woman who chooses to behave like a full human being should be warned that the armies of the status quo will treat her as something of a dirty joke. She will need her sisterhood." And Amy posted it immediately after the decision came out. While the comedian's shying away from openly picking a side, this quote kind of made it obvious who has her sympathies. Amy also recently shared a screenshot of something she wrote in her Notes app where she admits she didn't watch a second of the trial and wants the country to focus on more important and rather urgent matters like gun violence. There was a school shooting at Uvalde just last week, and we can understand why Amy's frustrated at the apathy people are demonstrating about it. And then we have Ashley Benson. The actress from Pretty Little Liars has been pretty vocal about her support for Johnny winning this case. Like many other celebrities, Ashley seems to be quite happy about the jury's decision in favor of Johnny. She posted a picture of the Pirates of the Caribbean actor on her Instagram stories and captioned it with quite an enthusiastic yes. A lot of celebrities were previously hesitant to support Johnny. We don't have to lay it out before you, but yeah, you're all aware of the backlash people supportive of Johnny had to face. Hollywood and its world revolves around clique culture, and it can be pretty toxic. So Ashley openly expressing her support for Johnny by showing how happy she is with the verdict seems to be a big step for the actress. Ashley also declared her support for Johnny on his recent Instagram post, where he poured his heart out right after the verdict came out in his favor. We bet all of this means a lot to Johnny right now. Up next, Taylor Damir. Fans of the Australian reality show Love Island would be curious to know what the star Taylor Damir has to say about this court case. Taylor herself is a survivor of domestic abuse and didn't shy away from sharing her 2 cents about what's been happening in the U.S. trial. The 25-year-old took the courage to come out and admit how the recent unfolding of events regarding the Depp v. Heard trial were awfully triggering for survivors of domestic abuse and intimate partner violence. The trial this time was publicized too much. People say there's no such thing as bad publicity, but there was a lot in how the public consumed news about the trial, the way it was televised, and how the internet took part in turning it into the latest, most talked about meme was highly insensitive. TikToks and videos were recorded belittling Amber and her experience of abuse, and like Taylor remarked, it was very triggering. Taylor went through an abusive relationship at a very young age, and she took to Instagram and opened up about the old wounds she's still trying to heal from. She didn't hesitate to tell her followers how everyone's been consuming this trial as some new drama series on Netflix. The Love Island star called it a case built on ego and how the outcome of the trial would be detrimental for the rest of domestic abuse survivors since no one's going to be willing to believe them. Next on the list is Angie Kent. Johnny's beloved fans were over the moon to hear the decision that he won the case and that Heard now had to pay her ex-husband over $10 million for defamatory damages. But it seems like this reality TV star wasn't among those people, and she definitely wasn't over the moon about this one. Speaking to the Daily Telegraph, Angie shared her thoughts about the case and described the proceedings as a big waste. Yeah, Angie's not over the moon at all. In fact, she's pretty much the opposite of it. We can understand her frustration. Angie's of the opinion that this entire situation has turned into a joke, and people treating it as such is really harmful for domestic abuse victims and survivors. She's not taken a side per se, but rather thinks that humans are incredibly flawed, and because of that, she believes that both Johnny and Amber have done things they shouldn't have. Well, it seems Angie's just neutral here. And now, Greg Ellis. Greg and Johnny were co-stars in Pirates of the Caribbean. It kind of makes sense why Greg would support someone he had worked so closely with. Interestingly, the character played by Greg in the movie really admired Captain Jack Sparrow, and now, after Johnny's win at this trial, Greg's imitating his own character's actions. Greg took to Twitter to voice out his support for Johnny throughout the trial, and he's been pretty outspoken about it. We don't need to dictate verbatim what he said, but the gist of it is that since he's on Johnny's side, he believes all the accusations leveled against his once upon a long time ago co-star are false and without substance. He went ahead to label these accusations as dangerous. To us, it looks like Greg is a bit too passionate about this case for someone who's not going to be really affected by it. He tweeted how Amber's fate lies in the hands of the jury and even wrote that she's not much liked in the industry. Yeah, he seems to have plenty of opinions about it. Oh well, he does seem to place Johnny on a pedestal and looks up to him like he's his brother. No wonder he's overjoyed about Johnny winning this time. Up next is Eva Green. We were all surprised to find out that Eva was pretty confident about Johnny emerging the victor from this long legal battle. Just like Greg, Johnny and Eva share history as as co-stars. When the verdict was announced last week on Thursday, Eva was on Instagram with a supportive post within minutes. She posted a picture with Johnny from back when the two actors had worked together and shared screen time in their 2012 movie Dark Shadows. Eva typed out a heartfelt message about how the outcome of this trial will be in Johnny's favor and the world will finally realize what a wonderful heart he is. We're not entirely sure about that, Eva, but from what we've observed, looks like co-stars stick together, no matter what. Now we have Julia Fox. Julia Fox had a lot to say about the trial in a series of posts and comments on Instagram that made their way around the internet. Taking a controversial stance among a tide of support for Depp's victory in the heavily popularized case, Fox insisted that Heard was never capable of abusing Johnny, shedding light on the power dynamics of the relationship. "You need to have power to be able to abuse it," she wrote in a comment on a post regarding the case. She was 25. He clearly was always way more powerful, including physically and financially. Julia's comment left social media divided as Depp fans and others bashed her for disregarding a victim of abuse and spoke up about how male victims often go ignored in domestic abuse cases. On the other hand, many agreed with Fox and praised her for bringing public attention to a side of the trial that often never made it into mainstream media. It certainly got many people talking about whether or not the abuse was one-sided, and we're sure it made even very convinced supporters of Depp wonder if he was 100% the good guy in this relationship. Fox is evidently not enthralled by the verdict of the trial. Another reaction is from Chris Rock. Chris Rock is definitely up there on the list of celebrities who have had some strong, and may we say frequently quoted opinions on the Depp v. Heard trial. "Believe all women," as Rock is known to have said, except Amber Heard. Performing a comedy special in London a few weeks ago while the trial was ongoing, he cracked several jokes about the case, specifically the alleged incident of Heard defecating in Depp's bed. Employing his usual reputation for dark humor, he insisted that someone capable of doing that would probably also be guilty of everything else accused. Mind you, the defecation allegation has not been proven in court, but that didn't stop Chris. While the well-known comedian, who also made news recently for a physical altercation with Will Smith at the Oscars, has not weighed in since the verdict of the defamation trial against Amber Heard was announced, given his history of controversial opinions regarding the case, we think it's safe to say whose side he is on. That's a wrap for this video. Want to know more about people's thoughts on the Depp v. Heard case? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.